And when your character, Danny, appeared on the screen, everybody can relate to a cop who is trying to rescue. In the case of the pilot, it was a little girl who'd been abducted, right? And then he found the perp, he dumped his head in the toilet bowl.
I didn't, Danny did.
Yeah, Danny did. And I remember, this is a question for the entire cast. The show is very topical, and I remember my first impression was, oh man, they're gonna show this cop like beating up on somebody, you know. And then Bridget, your character, Erin, was the voice of reason, the voice of the law, essentially. I wonder, you know, all of your characters are very complex, but Danny, when you play, damn, I'm even calling you Danny. Look at that. When you play the role,
It's the suit.
what do you think about when you're playing that character and you're thinking about the very fine line that you walk on the show as the character that you play?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I believe with acting, you play a role when you're ready to play it. You know, as actors, we think we're right for every part we audition for. You know, it's like, I can play this part of an 80-year-old guy. I know I can. And I don't have any hair, it'll work. But you're not ready until you get the part that you're ready to be. And I think all of my years of acting prepared me for Danny. I think this is, you know, if I'm ever fortunate enough to do a second run like Tom's doing such a magnum series, no pun intended, you know, I hope that I would be ready for that. But you know, all the different parts, whether it's Band of Brothers or whatever, it prepared me to be this guy. And what I mean is, I'm playing him, and I'm playing a police officer who's in a tough situation, whose life is on the line every day, who sometimes walks a very delicate line, you know, to get justice. But you know, I wouldn't have been able to play that role 10 years ago. I played a cop show before, and I always wanted to be right, the audience to like me, and you know, I think I'd been around long enough to really trust the character and what's on the page, and that there's so many voices in the show of all the different perspectives of these types of things. If it's a situation where a cop is crossing the line, you know, Bridget can give that point of view, or Will can give that point of view, or Frank or Len or anyone can give that point of view. So the entire piece will be the voice of many different voices, but it's up to me to play the voice that I'm playing. And you know, I think as an actor, as I said, I wouldn't have been ready 10 years ago to play it, maybe even, you know, 8 years ago. But when this part came along, I was ready to trust what was on the paper and risk the audience not liking me for the better of the show. And as it turns out, thank you. People understand the character more than I ever do. And you know, it's, you know, I try to, when I walk through the streets of New York and a cop gives me a nod and says thank you, you know, it's, we can't always stick someone's head in the toilet. We can't do those things. But you know, we appreciate the effort you go to try to do it, you know, honestly, even when it's, you know, crossing the line, and that means a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I